Well, hello and welcome. You're officially here on Awaken Wednesday, and I'm officially Sarah McLean. I'm going to be guiding you into a meditation today, which is called a passage meditation. You may not have heard of that as a type of meditation, but today we're going to experience it. And it's a very simple practice that you can do, I can do, anyone can do without any previous experience with meditation. The person who made it popular in the world today is a man called Eknath Eswaran, and I'm actually going to put that spelling in the chat here. Eknath Eswaran, he was born in India and he came to America and he started to introduce this type of meditation called a passage meditation. And it's really a meditation that lets you use any particular poem or prayer or passage that you love and maybe even have memorized as the focus for your meditation practice. Today we'll be using a passage or a poem from the late John O'Donohue, which maybe you've been here before with me and you've heard me do this before, but I'm going to give you just a little bit more instruction today. So Eknath Eswaran, he was born in Kerala in India. That's the south part of India in 1910, and he lived until 1999. And he's been in my awareness because he's translated a number of books, including the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, which is one of the ancient Vedic books of prayers and poems and passages. And then he also, let me see, he also wrote a book on Mahatma Gandhi, who influenced him so much in the terms of being peaceful and present. He met him and studied with him a little bit. So we're going to be talking about the passage meditation. And so I'm going to read you a few of his suggestions about it. Now, he often used the St. Francis prayer, which of course is easy for anyone to use. If you've got it memorized, it's even better. You can use the Our Father or the Hail Mary if you happen to be Catholic, but you can use any prayer that you love. And what he suggests is that when we do this passage meditation, we allow our gentle attention to rest on the information coming in, whether you're thinking the prayer yourself or you're hearing it being recited like I'm going to do. And yes, it's a lot, Amos, yes, it is a lot similar to the Lectio Divina, which is, for those of you who know, it was, gosh, was it Teresa of Avila? I have her poems here. Anyway, she used to read it as well as many nuns in earlier times and simply allow the words to vibrate within the silence of consciousness or awareness. And just to talk about Teresa, you may have heard me talk about her. She would go to do I'm going to use the word Vespers, go to prayer meetings a few times a day where they would read this Lectio Divina to themselves. I'm sure they memorized it after a year or two. And she would enter what is called the transformative union, a transformative union. It's obviously she was I think she was speaking Italian, but whatever the case may be, this transformative union was the experience of losing track of time and space, of words and meaning, and simply being in the bliss of existence. Her sisters, who were part of her nunnery, didn't like it so much when she went into these transformative union states because she might levitate, start becoming extremely blissful, causing a little bit of a ruckus to these very serious nuns who are reading their passages. And what she said about this transformative union, I find to be very interesting and really applicable to those of us who meditate. And she said, you cannot make it happen. You cannot make bliss happen. You cannot make, in the words for more modern day, transcendence happen. You cannot make this union happen. Instead, you can set yourself up to succeed. You've got this quiet space you've set aside, this beautiful, maybe you've set aside an altar in your home, and you've set aside a practice time every day, and you innocently go into the practice. And if grace is present, there's this union, there's this transformation, there's this transcendence where you lose track of where you begin and end, and the whole world begins and ends. So it's a transformative union in her mind because she would say, she was changed from it every time. She couldn't go back to the earthly being that she was. It left an indelible mark on her awareness. And she said, you can't make it happen. You cannot make it last longer than it lasts. That's the grace of it. And in her case, she couldn't stop it from happening. I don't think we're all that far along yet, but maybe some of you are, that you just go into this bliss experience. Well, I think some of us have been in it where we really can't stop it, or nor do we want to. In her case, she would levitate, flying around the chapel or the cathedral or wherever she was. So back to Eknath Easwaran, he uses this passage meditation. I'm going to share a few pointers that he suggests. He actually likens this meditation and you're paying attention to when he walks his dog. His dog's name was Muka. And he said when we would take our dog for a walk along the country road, he would see a cow and dash forward. To prevent this, we would call him back. Further on, he sees another cow and starts moving forward, this time a little more secretly, so that they didn't notice. But of course, they call him back. And bringing the mind back like this again and again, and he says his dog does this ceaselessly, bringing your mind back again and again is not necessarily a pointless activity nor a wasted effort. Quite often I say, with the five essentials, the first is it's okay to have thoughts. It's okay to wander. But your job is to call yourself back, like he calls his dog back again and again. And he says this, oh, he actually quotes St. Francis, who said of Sales, St. Francis, who said, even if you did nothing during the whole of your hour, but bring your mind back and place it again and again in our Lord's presence, though it went away every time you brought it back, your hour would be well employed. So even though you did nothing the whole time but call your attention back to what we're doing here, it's not a wasted time. Really important. That is the training, calling your mind back. Whether the dog really, really comes back on its own, we don't know, but our minds can. And that's the training, is when you notice you're drifted off, is to come back. And then he goes on to say, today you may have to bring it back 15 times or 30, but in 3 years, you may be bringing it back only a few times. In 6 years, perhaps twice. In 10 years, not at all. Well, as a 30-year meditator, I'm still bringing my mind back. But the one thing I learned and invite you to do is be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. You're not a bad dog. This is the nature of your mind to think, to keep coming back again and again and again. So then there's another ruse. You repeat the passage correctly, and then a garbled version comes back because as I read the passage, you may repeat it incoherently. And it's okay. This is just part of the mind trying to mess with you a little bit to keep you from that transcendent experience. So by dwelling on it, by struggling, you make the aversion a little more powerful. So the best course, as he says, and this we're back to Eknath, is to attend to the true words of the prayer, not your version of it, not your translation of it, not your thoughts about it. The more attention you give the words, the less you will be giving to the garbled version or your mental constructs. So when distractions come, just ignore them. When, for instance, you're acutely aware of noises around you, pay attention more to the words in the passage. And the day will come when you hear the passage no longer. So I want to just share the mechanics of this for a moment, and then we'll go into the meditation. So someone once said, if you are aware of something, your thoughts, your body, the sounds outside of you, whatever it may be, if you're aware of something, then it is not you. So this is a very important thing to note. If you're aware of your mind and the mental activity, that is not you. Because what are you? You're the subject. You're the subject. Everything else is the object. You're the still point of peace, the self with a capital S, and everything around you. I like to think of it as like a very loud marching band that's circling me and blowing their horns into my ears and playing their drums into my mind. we, and each one of us has within us, and we are this awareness, this self, this presence, whatever you want to call it. And though we may not be aware of it, we realize that we are not our thoughts. We're the one thinking the thoughts. We're not our environment. We're the ones hearing, feeling, seeing our environment. So there's always the subject object. So what he's saying here, and this is actually coming from the transformative union, or what some people might call yoga, is when your attention is yoked to that which you're paying attention to, and the separation dissolves. The separation dissolves. It's a moment of grace. It is timeless. It is indelible. It's transformative, but you cannot make it happen, nor can you make it last longer than it does. So anyway, I invite you to consider if you're aware of something, it is not you. If you are aware of your habits, your behavior, it is not you. You are the one who's this silent witness. So that being said, we're going to be doing this. I just don't to leave on a note from Eknath. He says, why do we do this? First, it's a training in concentration. Most of our mental powers are so widely dispersed that they're relatively ineffective. Second, we begin to resemble and actually become what we give our attention to. So people who think and dream about money, their minds are pervaded by it, or beauty, their minds are hijacked by it. Everything they see or do is colored by this concern. Similarly, it's the same for those who dwell on prayer, on spiritual aspects. So an inspirational passage turns our thoughts to what is permanent, to those things that put a final end to insecurity. Okay, we're going to do this now. I invite you to get comfortable in this meditation. We'll do it for about 20 minutes. I'll be keeping track of the time. I invite you to get comfortable and sit in a dignified posture. You might take your glasses off or settle into the space around you. I'm going to let my cat in because she's meowing. Excuse me for just a moment. Okay, okay, okay. And she'll be in a minute. She's soaking wet because we have rain here. And yeah, hopefully she'll go around. Okay, so I like to take a few long, slow, deep breaths and invite you to do the same. Ideally through your nose. I like to begin every meditation with mindfulness. You may decide to close your eyes or gaze softly to the ground, or even meditate with your eyes open, whatever seems to still the mind. So as you sit here, begin to scan your body and be sure that you're as relaxed as you can be. I was having a conversation yesterday with a house guest, and we said, we think enlightenment might simply be to be as relaxed as you possibly can be while you're still alert. So invite your face to soften, your shoulders to lower. Invite your belly to soften as you feel the support underneath you. Letting your whole body be soft, yet maintaining this alert and dignified posture. Let's begin to become a little more aware of the sounds around you. Noticing sounds that are near or far. Seeing if you can maintain a neutral attitude without preferences, without comparison. Simply welcoming the soundscape. You are the subject, the sounds are the object. And as you turn your attention a little more internally, you might begin to notice there are sounds that your body is making, whether it's the sound of your breath or some gurgling, maybe some creaking. There's no need to find out where these sounds are coming from. Simply just welcome what's here. Tuning into the witnessing awareness. Even practicing loving everything you're aware of. Loving the objects of your experience. And drawing your attention now to the breath. Inviting it to deepen a little bit as you breathe in slowly and deeply through the nose if you can, and exhaling slowly and fully through the nose if it's comfortable. 3 long, slow, deep breaths at your own pace. Sends a signal to your body that it's okay to relax here. As you move into restful awareness, I will now repeat a few lines of this prayer or poem slowly. It's called a divine beauty. And as I do, you can let them echo in you, or simply imagine them as pearls that are being tossed into a still pond. I'll be reading this twice, but this first time, just let it be like the wind in the trees or the sounds in your environment. May the beauty of your life become more visible to you, that you may glimpse your wild divinity. May the wonders of the earth call you forth from all your small secret prisons. And set your feet free in the pastures of possibilities. May the light of dawn anoint your eyes, that you may behold what a miracle a day is. May the liturgy of twilight shelter all your fears and darkness within the circle of ease. May the angel of memory surprise you in bleak times. With new gifts from the harvest of your vanished days. May you allow no dark hand to quench the candle of hope in your heart. May you discover a new generosity toward yourself. And encourage yourself to engage your life as a great adventure. May the outside voices of fear and despair find no echo in you. May you always trust the urgency and wisdom of your own spirit. May the shelter and nourishment of all the good you have done, the love you have shown, the suffering you have carried, awaken around you to bless your life 1,000 times. And when love finds the path to your door, may you open like the earth to the dawn. And may you trust your every hidden color towards its nourishment of light. May you find enough stillness and silence to savor the kiss of God on your soul. May you delight in the eternity that shaped you, that holds you and calls you. May you know that despite confusion, anxiety, and emptiness, that your name is written in heaven. May you come to see your life as a quiet sacrament of service, which awakens around you a rhythm where doubt gives way to the grace of wonder, where what is awkward and strained can find elegance, and where crippled hope can find wings and torment enter at last unto the grace of serenity. May divine beauty bless you. May divine beauty bless you. I'll repeat a few passages more slowly. Invite them to echo in you or allow you to take that journey into the deep stillness between the words. May you find enough stillness and silence to savor the kiss of God on your soul. May you delight in the eternity that shaped you. That holds you and calls you. May you discover a new generosity towards yourself. May you encourage yourself to engage your life as a great adventure. May the beauty of your life become more visible to you. May you glimpse your wild divinity. Allowing your attention now to rest on a word you may have heard or simply your breath. Resting in the stillness. Calling back your mind from any journey it may be taking to come home right here. We'll meditate like this together for just a few minutes. I'll keep track of the time. May divine beauty bless you. May divine beauty bless you. So, as our meditation comes to a close, I invite you to keep your eyes closed or gaze softly to the ground. Become aware of how you're feeling, what you notice. Become aware of the breath as it moves in and out of your nostrils, and perhaps deepening it just a little bit. Tuning in once again to the sounds inside your body. Noticing the sounds around you. Begin to invite some movement, deeper breaths, and stretching into the space around you as you keep your eyes closed or lowered, making your way from what might be a transformative union into the world of restful activity. It's very important, this integration period. You might slowly begin to open your eyes. I like this period between meditation and moving into activity as a time to anchor any intention you might have for the rest of your day or evening. Maybe there's something you want to remember. There's a practice you want to invite more regularly into your day. So take your time making your intention, setting a commitment. And slowly, slowly, when you feel ready, there's no rush. You can open your eyes, first with a downward gaze. And go at your own pace. You may not feel quite ready to open your eyes all the way. You want to rest here in the in-between. If you feel like opening your eyes, I like to put my hands together in the Anjali Mudra and bow to the great divinity that animates my life and bow to its expression in you. I honor the divinity in you that blesses you. It's the same that blesses me. So thank you for joining me today. This poem is May Divine Beauty Bless You. And I believe you can find it on the Feast for the Soul blog with all the other prayers and poems from our opening ceremonies and our other meditations. So thank you for joining me today. Maybe you can join us next Wednesday. We do this every Wednesday through the feast. I'm going to stop recording now.